It's roughly 10 foot deep. This clay is all busted up. Some circular fractures here. And some fractures there. Long sweep 90 here. Located this in the side yard at a depth of 9'5". This is as far as I can get the camera. So there's about 40 foot or so that I've not been able to get the camera through. You see here there's some fractures in this spot. We got some chunks of clay laying there. I'm going to pull the camera back and see if I can take the skid off and maybe get in a little further. Several bad fractures through there. It's all set, separation. depth there. Major fracture separation and collapsed pipe here. I'll pause the video. I've located this spot at a depth of 11 foot. It's a very low read. I want to get a better read on that. I'm going to pause and get the homeowner.
Neighbor's yard, that's what we used to have
Oh.
here. And so probably took it out about 10 years ago.
Yeah, and so there's a fracture there too. So here, this is the next piece. So you got this piece that's already pushed up,
Okay.
which means it's fallen from there, and then you got a fracture.
Yeah.
Pretty much the length. So this piece here is raised up, and that one's lowered. It's so you can kind of see some dirt there.
Yeah.
I believe there's one right here. Yeah. This one's not nearly as bad, but it's all. So you got chunks missing here. You got
Is that like right around here?
That's
that is?
9 foot in. Well, let me see. So basically, what I did is I reset the counter at the bottom.
Okay.
So 8'2" over is where that's at.
Okay.
Now we could line through that. Can't line through that.
Okay. So see that would have to be dug down and replaced. Is what
Either that or, yeah. I mean, the problem with doing a spot repair there, you're probably going to lose a tree.
Oh, got ya.
It may be small enough to where you dig right there, and maybe instead of digging, usually when you dig in the center, especially
Okay.
that deep.
Uh-huh.
It's 11 foot deep.
That's 11 foot down.
Mhm.
You gotta be kidding me.
So this here is exactly 10 foot deep.
Okay.
But as you see, your grade
Yeah.
is higher there. But we could possibly, if we did the dig, we could possibly dig it offset, try and stay away from the root
interesting.
ball.
Okay.
Instead of having the pipe in the center of the trench, you have it to the left.
Got ya.
And that way you might stay away from the root ball.
I got ya.
But my biggest concern, so you got several fractures there, is not being out here. It's just pretty much gone too.
Okay.
I mean, that we could even line. It's not the prettiest thing, but at least it's to the side, so the liner will actually suck out.
Gotcha.
So you would still have your flow line. But the problem that you have is, if we dig there and do a spot repair, we have to be on good pipe, at least good enough to where we can put a fern coat on there and then shoot the liner through it.
Okay.
If there's not any good pipe from there, then we end up having to dig back further and further to find good pipe to attach to it.
Got ya.
Let me mark that real quick. Located this spot at a depth of 10'9". We're about 4 foot from the clean out. See, that seems to be good pipe downstream of that spot.
Okay.
And now we're coming up the clean out. Let's see, just for giggles, I'm going to see what downstream looks like. I have to go and clean the camera off. It's got something on it. Figure out where the sewer main is. clogs downstream too.
Now, are you going out this way now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not be able to get the camera clean. So the camera is sitting at a negative 71 degrees. So that wherever that sewer main is, it must be deep.
Okay.
There's something. That's probably right in the sewer main. Yeah. I think I'm gonna be able to get it clean to inspect the downstream side. With you being in Montgomery, this still should be MSD territory. If it's MSD territory, you're only responsible to the right-of-way structurally. Locate this on the other side of the street at a depth of 13'3". So there at 90s, 45. I wonder if that's sewer main. Strange that it's usually a 90 down or 45 down. I'd really like to jet that, but I'd send you a quote to jet it. I'm scared of what I haven't seen so far. So basically, from where the line goes out to that little vegetable or herb or whatever stand, I've got the camera, because the camera won't get past it. So I'm going to try and do is take this.
And because of the roots that are...
the distance, and there's an offset right after that 90.
Okay.
There's a long, sweet 90 there. So there's a busted, broken pipe right there. So that's a big chunk pipe laying there.
And that's this way?
Mm-hmm. See me pushing it?
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know where that came from.
Is that because it's broken there, or maybe it came from...
Until I see, if I see a spot from there to there, with some missing pipe, and there could have been when they did this spot repair.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
They got some pieces in there and never took it out. That's basically, I'm betting what it is, because I don't see, I'm back in the SDR pipe now, and I don't see any breaks. So probably had some, there's a chunk literally sitting right at the bottom of the clean out too.
Yeah.
I would say that probably fell in there when they cut that out and they didn't realize it. I need to come up with a windshield wiper for this thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you're doing that. I'm like, it just needs just one of those, doesn't it?
Yeah. You see that piece laying there at the bottom? That's a big chunk of clay.
Oh, right there, yeah.
It doesn't look as big in the camera, but if you look down in there, it's about that big.
Gotcha.
And I'll try and take the... Let me pause this. I'll try and... Just can't tell if the bottom's gone there. Looks like it's totally gone. See this void right here?
Okay.
Pause that. I've located this at a depth of 9'7". This is in the backyard. We've got something going on here. Yeah, that's I just can't tell if that's a big chunk laying there. Or if the pipe's gone. It's holding water. And usually, if it's holding water, you know, unless the ground is just so totally saturated all at that point, that water would drain off.
Yeah.
But if that's laying there, and it's been laying there a long time, because you can see how black it is on the bottom,
Yeah.
what is upstream? The last thing I want to do is run the jetter up in there and the camera head and get to a bad spot, and you know, everything falls around the camera.
Gotcha.
The nozzle on a jetter's $2,000. The camera head is $3,600. But you can see solid roots right ahead of that.
Yeah. So it's not a. This is not a good diagnosis.
Not at all.
It
Not
has
at all.
it has ran its limit.
Yeah, I mean, like even here you got spiral fractures going around the pipe. So this is your joint.
So does that mean it's just waiting
Waiting to fall
collapse?
apart. Yeah, it could be a month, it could be 10 years.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, especially that close to a highway.
Yeah.
There's a lot of vibration and we may get lucky, and you know, as much as you would probably hate to do it, is open the floor by the floor drain and shoot the liner out from there and possibly all the way to this point.
Oh, so do it from the inside?
But until that, you know, until that floor is open, we don't know what we're getting
Yeah.
into. And so that's why, you know, it'd be nice if I could get a camera in there and see.
Got ya.
Because if there's, you know, there's got to be a T or Y's under there somewhere, because you got the floor drain here, next room over, you got a shower, a toilet, and a sink.
Okay.
And then you've got another little utility sink, I think, somewhere, a little sink somewhere in a corner, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So all that has to tie in somewhere here.
Gotcha. I'm gonna grab my notepad
Sure.
real quick. So. No, please.
We get some spiral fractures here at 70 feet. Get some fractures here as well. Yeah, what I would recommend is we would come in with the jetter and try and pull the camera all the way over to the spot where the camera stopped from the inside. See if it's something that we can jet without the fear of it collapsing. If we can jet it, cut all those roots out, then we could put a liner in it. As long as we can line these, you know, this section here, then there wouldn't be anything outside to dig.
Okay.
If we got to do a 10-foot spot repair, then we would dig. My recommendation would be to dig from where the bad spot is by the tree to the green pipe here. And in that way, you know, especially if you're going to rent it, you don't want to live, I think you said Georgia.
Yeah.
You don't want to rent it and then have to worry about somebody backing up and having to deal with.
That would be from here to there.
Pretty much, yeah, from that point to somewhere between that white line and here. I can mark where that green pipe starts. As if we can get a liner through it and not have to worry about you calling in a year or so because it's backed up, then we would line through it.
And then if you were saying if it's having problems in the back, to where you're not able, well, you ended up saying that one option may be that we might need to look at digging up the basement part.
Yeah, so if we shoot a liner, if we're able to shoot a liner through the whole thing, we would open the floor in the basement, probably right where that, as long as that floor drain is not a branch line, and that's the main, it runs outside and then the bathroom ties into that, we could shoot the liner from the basement floor. We'd open the floor, remove that floor drain, and then shoot the liner. We would have to come in with a Dan cutter because you know you've got branch lines. We'd have to reinstate those branch lines with the Dan cutter. Basically, it's a big, huge $85,000 tool. It's got a camera on it with a robot cutter. We go in, we line it, and then we cut the liner where those branch lines are to reinstate flow.
Okay.
And then you're good to go.
But you will only need to do that if, what's the ideal?
The best scenario is to open the floor in the house.
Oh, we may need to open that.
Regardless. Right, because shooting a liner from here all the way up to there,
gotcha.
Not knowing what I see, now if I come in there and I see that you're good all the way over to the floor drain, we may be able to shoot the liner a reverse shot from here all the way in. Best case scenario. The problem is the Dan cutter is only 90 foot long.
Yeah.
And you're losing 10 foot. So basically it's 100, but it's been worked on a few times. So it's 90 foot. So if you got a 10 foot drop here, you can only reach 80 feet.
Yeah.
Those branch lines are further than 80 feet.
I got you.
So regardless, even if we lined it from here, we'd still have to do the cuts from in there.
Gotcha.
If you don't line it, let's say you only lined it as far as you could without covering in branch lines, then you'd have to jet it